Hello student, welcome to the topic Introduction to CAD. This is Professor Mangesh Mohan. The learning outcomes of this video. The student will be able to define, design and computer-aided design. Order the steps of design. State different design approaches. Describe the role of computer in CAD. State the pros and cons of CAD. List the applications of CAD/CAM. Let us see what is design. Design is human power to conceive, plan and realize products that serve human being in the accomplishment of any individual or collective purpose. That means in this process a designer conceives about the product, he plans the activities and he thinks about the final product, how it is going to be useful for the human being. The design usually considered in the context of applied arts, engineering, architecture and other creative endeavors is used both as a noun and verb. If we talk about design as a verb, which refers to the process of originating and developing a plan for a product, structure, system or component. That means here we are saying that we have designed a structure. I am designing a system or I am designing a component. That means it is more process centric. That means it is verb as a design. When we consider the design as a noun, which is referred to a final plan or a solution. That means if I say I have designed a proposal, I have made a drawing, I have made a aesthetic model, so and so forth. So the result of implementing plan is a design. For example, if the object is produced, which is a design, the result of any experimental process is a design. When we talk about different design approaches, the first one is user-centered design, which focuses on the needs, wants and limitation of the end user of the designed artifact. That means in this approach the user is more important. Second phase is use-centered design. That means the use of the design is more important, which says this approach focuses on the goals and the task associated with the use of the artifact rather than focusing on the end user. The next principle is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, which strives to eliminate unnecessary complications. That means in this process we are eliminating unnecessary parameters and we keep the design more simple. The design is always an iterative process. That means it undergoes number of changes. As we have seen, design always starts with the requirement. It may be from the end user. So the designer builds a model in the form of a primary design. Let us say that it's a model number 1. Now that model undergoes number of modifications, refinements, number of analysis, number of evaluation techniques, analysis tools, and we get the another refined model. Let's call it as model 2. The model 2 also undergoes number of modifications, refinements, analysis, evaluation, and then we get numerous models. Let us call a model N is our final model, optimized model. So to manufacture that design, we need to generate the information for planning and manufacturing. After this phase, the next phase is CAPP, stands for Computer Aided Process Planning. In this phase, we think about the whole process planning operation, wherein we stress upon the number of machines, the kind of material, the kind of tools to be used, human resource, so on and so forth. After this phase, the next important phase is manufacturing, wherein we think about NC and CNC system. On these systems, we need to feed the data for manufacturing in the form of G code and M codes. With the G code M code program, the machine manufactures the final component and we get the final product. When we talk about design process, now a number of steps need to be carried out. The first is need or recognition of requirement. Second phase is conceptualization phase. The third phase, modeling and simulation. In this case, different types of models, for example, 2D model, 3D model, solid models, surface models can be prepared by the designer and the same is simulated. Next phase is analysis. In this phase, the finite element methods is used as one of the tool to analyze the geometric data. In the next phase of optimization, we optimize the different parameters like shape, structure and the topology. That means how the components are going to be interconnected with each other. In the phase of evaluation, we evaluate the whole model, we inspect the model, we test the model, we compare the designed model with the prior design or maybe with the requirement given by the end user. And the last phase is to communicate. That means we may design or make the detailed descriptions of the component or the designed model. Let us see what is the role of a computer in CAD. In a manual design, a designer carries out all the tasks. But in case of computer-aided design, number of geometrical models and graphics need to be handled. When we talk about geometrical models, that means different views need to be considered and how we are going to present it with the help of rendered model or shaded models. Sometimes we may move the model, we may animate the different components of the model, we may visualize the total design in different forms, we may analyze the tools, and we may use number of softwares or testing softwares, for example MS Sinastran, ANSYS, so and so forth, wherein the role of computer is very important. In the phase of optimization, we may maximize or minimize different parameters depending upon the requirement. To name the few, we may maximize the structural strength. We may minimize the shape of the component so as it can fit into a minimum space. We may be optimizing the topology. That means the interconnection between the number of parts or the different parts of the model. In the phase of evaluation, we test the component or we check the component based upon different requirements, wherein computer plays a very important role. In the communication phase, for making the detailed drawings and the drafting, the role of computer is very important, wherein we create the different views of a drawing from 3D model. To name a few, 2D models or 2D drafting models, detailed drawing like a sectional views, exploded view, so and so forth. Now the reflection spot. So dear student, how will you define CAD? Pause the video here and jot down your answer. Having noted your answer, for clarifying it, see the next video. Computer-aided design is a sub-process of design process. That means there is computer graphics. Computer graphics, I mean computer hardware and software. There is geometrical modeling, meaning we make different models of a computer. There is design engineering. That means there are processes to be followed while designing any component. So CAD is a subset of three components as computer graphics, geometrical modeling, and design engineering. Let us consider now the pros and cons of CAD. First, the advantages. First one, quicker design processes. With the help of computer, we can design the models very quickly. It's very cost effective. It is very easy to use. There is no restrictions how many times we can change the model. When we talk about disadvantages, the cost is a parameter or cost is a concern. So softwares are costly, training the human resource is also costly, and still there may be number of errors. When we talk about the application of CAD, there is a numerous list of the areas wherein CAD can be used. To name a few, aerospace, automotive, chemical and process industry, communication, computer and information technology, electrical and electronics, medical, military, defense, and many more. So I hope that you might have got the concept of introduction to the CAD very well. So thank you and happy learning.